Our story begins in a small, vibrant African village where everyone knows everyone. The sun is just peeping over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the thatched huts that dot the landscape. There's a unique rhythm to life here, a melody composed of laughter, chatter, and the clattering of pots and pans. It's the kind of place where stories are woven into the very fabric of everyday life. In the heart of this bustling community lives a young boy named Kofi. Kofi is not your average village boy. He's curious and full of spirit, with a heart that yearns for adventure. His eyes sparkle with mischief and a zest for life, but there's something else. Something that sets Kofi apart from all the other children. You see, Kofi has a unique gift. He can talk to animals. Yes, you heard that right. From the smallest ant to the largest elephant, Kofi can understand them all. He spends his days in the company of these creatures, learning their languages, understanding their fears and joys. His family, a warm and loving bunch, have always embraced Kofi's unusual talent, even if they don't quite understand it. Kofi's father, a tall, strong man with a booming laugh, is the village blacksmith. His mother, a kind and gentle woman, is known throughout the village for her delicious cooking. They live a simple life, filled with love and laughter, and Kofi, with his unique ability, adds a touch of magic to their everyday existence. Kofi's life in the village is a symphony of experiences. Each day brings new adventures, new learnings, and new friendships. His animal companions share their wisdom and their stories, filling Kofi's world with a richness that others can only dream of. But as our young hero chats with a group of baboons, he is blissfully unaware of the turn his life is about to take. For in the heart of this vibrant village, under the African sun, a story is beginning to unfold. A story that will take Kofi far beyond the familiar boundaries of his village, into a world filled with mystery, danger, and the unknown. Little did Kofi know, his unique ability was about to lead him on an adventure of a lifetime. As the sun began to set, a strange bird flew into the village, squawking a message only Kofi could understand. This wasn't your ordinary bird, oh no! It was a large exotic creature, its vibrant feathers shimmering in the waning sunlight. It seemed to have journeyed from far, far away, a messenger from distant lands. The bird swooped down to the village center, its squawks echoing through the quiet evening. The villagers paused, their daily chores forgotten, as they watched this spectacle with wide-eyed wonder. Amidst the crowd, Kofi stood, his eyes focused on the bird, his mind working overtime to decipher the odd squawks. The bird's message was a puzzle, a jumble of squawks and flutters, but Kofi, our young hero, had a gift. He understood the language of the birds. As he listened, he began to piece together the bird's urgent message. A great danger was looming, a threat that could wipe out their peaceful village. The bird spoke of a monstrous beast that was slowly making its way towards their village. Its fiery breath could burn their homes to the ground. Its mighty roars could shake the very earth they stood on. The villagers had to leave. The bird squawked. They had to find a safe place before the beast arrived. Kofi's heart pounded in his chest. He looked around at his friends, his family, all oblivious to the danger that was coming their way. He felt a chill run down his spine. He had to make them understand. He had to convince them to leave their homes, their village. But how? How could he, a mere boy, convince an entire village to abandon their homes based on a bird's squawk? Doubt started to creep in, but he pushed them away. He knew he couldn't ignore the bird's warning. He had to do something. And so, with a determined look in his eyes and a newfound resolve in his heart, Kofi stepped forward, ready to face whatever came his way. With the first light of dawn, Kofi set off on his adventure, guided by the bird. The sun's first rays kissed the tops of the acacia trees as Kofi began his journey. His heart pounded with excitement and a touch of fear. He was leaving the comfort of his village, stepping into the unknown. But he was not alone. His feathered friend, a bird as radiant as a rainbow, was by his side. As they ventured deeper into the dense African forest, the village became a distant memory. The forest was a world of its own, alive with the rustling of leaves and the whispers of the wind. It was a symphony of sounds, a medley of the wild. Kofi, with his unique ability to communicate with animals, listened to this symphony intently, understanding its rhythm and language. Their journey was not easy. They encountered various challenges. At times, the forest paths were blocked by thorny bushes and fallen trees. There were rivers to cross and high mountains to climb. But every challenge was a chance for Kofi to learn, to adapt, and to grow. The animals in the forest became his allies. The ants showed him the way around the thorny bushes, the monkeys helped him climb the trees, and the elephants helped him cross the rivers. Kofi's ability to communicate with them turned obstacles into opportunities. It was not just a journey, it was a dance with nature. As night fell, the forest became a sea of shadows. But Kofi was not afraid. He knew he had friends in the dark. The fireflies lit his path, and the nightingales sang him lullabies. The forest, once a stranger, was now his home. Kofi was learning the true essence of the journey. It was not about the destination, but about the experiences, the friendships, and the lessons along the way. He was not just walking through the forest, he was becoming a part of it. Every step took Kofi further from home, but closer to saving his village. The journey had just begun, and Kofi was ready for whatever lay ahead. His heart was full of courage, his spirit was indomitable, and his purpose was clear. He was ready to face the great danger that awaited him. They finally reached their destination, and the danger was more terrifying than Kofi could have imagined. The weight of the journey pressed upon our young hero's shoulders as he stood at the edge of a massive forest fire. The flames danced with a menacing grace, stretching their fiery arms towards the sky. It was a sight that could freeze any brave heart in fear. And it did. Fear gripped Kofi initially, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. The heat of the fire was like a dragon's breath, scorching and merciless. But then, something changed. The fear didn't fade, but it transformed. It took on a new shape, a new form. It became determination. A fire of its own kind ignited in Kofi's heart, reflecting in his eyes. His home, his village was under threat, and he couldn't just stand there paralyzed. Imagine a small boy, barely in his teenage years, standing against a towering inferno. The contrast was stark, but it was the small boy who held the greater power. The power of courage, the power of determination, the power of love for his home. Kofi's mind raced, churning like a stormy sea. He knew he had to act. He had to do something, but what? The fire was too big, too fierce. It was a beast that couldn't be tamed by a single person. But then it hit him, a realization as bright as the fire before him. He was not alone. He had his village, his people. He had his friends, and above all, he had the mysterious bird, his unlikely companion through this journey. He could rally them. Together, they could fight the fire. Together, they could save their home. Kofi knew he couldn't do it alone. He needed help. And with that thought burning bright in his heart, he turned around, his gaze set on his village, ready to gather his troops. The real battle was about to begin. Summoning all the animals in the forest, Kofi had a plan. Our young hero, Kofi, knew that he couldn't fight the fierce forest fire alone. He realized that it was time to collaborate, to unite, to work together. He decided to call upon the animals of the forest, for he knew each of them held a unique power that could help in this battle against the flames. Kofi's plan was simple, yet ingenious. He asked the elephants to use their mighty trunks to suck up water from the river and spray it over the fire. He beckoned the birds to fly high and scout for any areas where the fire was spreading. The monkeys, with their nimble fingers, were tasked to carry water-filled leaves from the river to the fire. The animals, understanding the urgency of the situation, didn't hesitate. They sprung into action, each one playing their part in this grand scheme. The elephants, like living fire trucks, sprayed water with all their might. The birds, soaring high, kept a watchful eye on the fire's path. The monkeys, swift and agile, transported water to the heart of the fire. It was a sight to behold, a symphony of efforts, a ballet of resilience, a testament to the power of unity. They worked tirelessly. Each drop of water, each flap of wings, each carried leaf, contributing to the fight. Slowly but surely, The fire began to dwindle. The once roaring inferno was now nothing more than a smoky whisper, thanks to their collective efforts. The animals, exhausted yet triumphant, cheered in celebration. They had done it. They had saved their home. And just like that, Kofi, the young boy from a small village, became a hero. Not because he was the strongest or the bravest, but because he believed in the power of unity, in the strength of teamwork. He showed us all that no matter how small you are, you can make a big difference. And remember, we are stronger together.